Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball superhero figure unboxing video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the big man himself, the Bam Presto Ultimate Gohan DXF. I am pretty excited to take a look at this figure. Obviously, this has been one of the most anticipated figures from Bam Presto in recent time, obviously, of course, with Gohan being the main character of the new movie. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I am going to turn off the ring light for this. I know it'll be a little bit darker, but with the ring light, there is some unfortunate little bit of reflections on the box that kind of make it not look so good. But as you can see here is the packaging. I didn't talk about it too much in the Piccolo video, but I'm not really sure how I feel about the packaging for this one. It's a lot less artistic than some other figure boxes for sure. It's just kind of like, bam, there's the figure, which I mean, like, isn't necessarily a bad thing, I suppose, but I would have kind of preferred if they would have done something a little bit more stylistic with the way that they did the boxes for these, rather than just like PNG. You know, because then that way they're literally just able to basically put the production image on the front and then just kind of like, you know, make a border and call it a day rather than making a cool looking box. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the side shots on the box, and I like the fact as well that they of course include the superhero poster. I do think that is pretty cool, but overall, right, I definitely think that they could improve the style of these, though I think they're probably going to stay the same for the rest of this line's run. So we'll have to see when we get some more, because I'm definitely going to be happy to get more of this line in the future, especially if these are as good as the Piccolo one was. And we'll have to see with your boy Gohan here today. He does not have a little a little hidey hole like Piccolo did. Let's go ahead and pull the man out of the box. By the way, oh, he's headless. We have to put his head on his body. I do want to let you know as well, I am using my new phone as my camera right now. I'm using the Google Pixel 7. So I apologize if things are maybe a little bit weird in this video. Your boy is still trying to figure out the auto zoom, I guess it would be autofocus would be more the correct term. By the way, again, this figure is pretty small, but that is to be expected of the DXF line because it is just a smaller figure line. But yeah, so forgive me if some things maybe don't look as great as they could. Obviously, when I'm editing these videos, I'm going to try and take in some of the visual feedback, not literal visual feedback, I suppose, because then that would just, you know, be not good. The video would really not look good if I had visual feedback and noise, but you know what I'm trying to say. Upon editing the video, I'll kind of see how it looks and be able to go from there in the future. Alright, so the body of Gohan, unfortunately, my man has the same problem as Piccolo. As you can see, that is so weird that it is a skin texture. I definitely do not like that. It's having a hard time focusing on it. But as you can see there, he has pegs at the bottom of his feet, which means that unfortunately, if you wanted to stand him without the stand, he cannot. Which kind of stinks, because they definitely could have just put some pegs on this stand right here, but that's alright. I still like this stand a lot, and I would have probably displayed the figure on the stand anyhow, but it's just kind of nice to be able to have the option, you know what I mean? Because now, if you want this, you're going to have to, like, basically you could saw off the pegs, but then obviously there's still more peg inside him, which kind of doesn't make sense, because obviously he's flat-footed. Anyway, let's go ahead and put the head on him. The head peg, by the way, and the head itself is super tiny. This is a very, very small head, but I do quite like it. I think it looks good. I think it looks exactly like Gohan. I think they nailed it. I think they also nailed the, like, spikiness of the ultimate hair here. Definitely looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Let's go ahead and see how it looks on the actual body of the figure. This is always the weirdest part. Oh, ow! Putting on the head always hurts because Saiyan hair is so spiky. Alright, did I get it on correctly? I feel like it's not. No, I guess that's correct. I feel like his neck looks a little bit weird. I feel like his head should be like down more like this rather than the way that they have it here. But this is the figure. I would say overall he looks pretty good, right? I think it definitely looks like Gohan. Obviously, the movie gi is definitely on point with the purple color scheme. I definitely like that a lot. Looks very nice. I like the red obi belt as well. There isn't a ton of shading on this figure. There is a little bit in some of the like crevices and on some of the muscle definition and stuff like that, but not a crazy amount. This figure is very simplistic looking, honestly. All right, let's go ahead and put my man on the stand. I'm assuming, yep, we are facing the same issue as Piccolo where... Oh, actually, no, never mind. I'm just a stinky brainer. There we go. I thought we were going to have to stretch the legs a little bit, but there you go. There is the boy on the stand. He looks pretty good on it. It is very cool that they include the little superhero logo on the stand. I quite like that. They definitely could have gave us just like a normal basic stand for these figures, so it's really nice that they at least did a little something for superhero for sure. And he looks pretty good. I actually, you know what, now that I'm looking at him, I kind of like that he's sort of like looking up a little bit like this. I think it looks kind of cool, honestly, that he's sort of looking up a little bit rather than looking down. Because if you're looking at him like this, the camera is going crazy right now. Again, I apologize with this new phone. I'm trying to figure out how this works still. I kind of like that he's looking up because it almost looks like he's looking at you. All right, let's go ahead and compare this guy to some other figures. As per our usual comparison, we have the Ichiban Fuji Gotenks as well as the WCF Goku. You can imagine that this guy is a relatively small figure, all things considered. Obviously, the fact that he is a DXF figure means that he is going to kind of be this size, because typically these DXF figures tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. Let's go ahead and actually get the measurement for our boy here. He stands at about... On camera, he looks more like 7.5. And yeah, no, I guess to the top of his hair spike, he's basically 7.5 inches. So that definitely checks out. He is about the same size as Piccolo, which makes sense because obviously that's sort of this figure line's scaling. All right, let's go ahead and do some quick comparisons with this guy. Of course, we're going to bring out Piccolo in a minute here, but I figured we should bring out another Ultimate Gohan figure real quick. We have the Retsuden Ultimate Gohan, and this was the only Ultimate Gohan figure that we had in recent time for quite some time until we eventually got the Grandista one. But now we have this guy as well as a couple of other figures coming down the pipeline that I am quite excited about. And it is nice to see Gohan's ultimate form represented a little bit more, even though it is very basic. And these two figures do look pretty cool together. You can definitely see a little bit of the differences, not only on the sculpt. The DXF one sculpt is definitely a lot softer than the Retsuden one, right? It has a lot more sharp edges to it, which I suppose kind of fits more so with the superhero movie style, feeling a little bit more soft because, you know, the CGI models are obviously a little bit more round. So that is pretty cool little details there. And I feel like Gohan's face also fits him a little bit more than the Retsuden one does. I feel like the Retsuden one is not a bad face, but it kind of reminds me more of like an artist rendition of Gohan rather than trying to rip him right out of the movie. And I think that the DXF one does a pretty good job of that, honestly. I am definitely not too dissatisfied with the face. All right, so let's, of course, grab the moment that you have been waiting for. We have the DXF Piccolo with our boy Gohan. Bada boom, bada bing. There are the boys. And I gotta say, this is pretty cool. It definitely seems like that these figures were meant to be displayed together, because not only does the superhero logo, which is on the base of each of these figures, kind of face a different direction when these two are next to each other. Obviously, the direction that they are facing is both almost kind of like back-to-back kitty corner, but at the same time, they are both kind of looking forward in the same direction next to each other. So that is pretty cool. Obviously, they don't combine in any way or nothing like that, but it is kind of cool that they sort of have this thing where if you have both, they look like they're intended to be next to each other. I think both of these guys look pretty good, honestly. They're definitely not the greatest quality figures that I have ever seen. Neither of them really scream to me like, whoa, you know, like, you know, these figures are insane, or, you know, like, they're gonna blow you out of the water been, you know, like your wow factor when you're looking at these, but they are just pretty solid renditions of both of these characters. Like, I think if anybody received these as a gift, they'd look at that and be like, yeah, that's Gohan and Piccolo. That's a pretty cool figure of both of them. So it will definitely be nice to have some more superhero stuff around, especially having both of these guys represented in, of course, two of the fan favorite looks for them. I mean, I guess Piccolo is just in base, but obviously for Gohan, right, definitely the ultimate Gohan look is pretty cool. So let me know what you think of these two in the comments section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I definitely like this Gohan figure. I think that I would recommend this guy, and Piccolo for that matter, but I think I would definitely recommend this Gohan even more so than Piccolo, honestly. I think the benefit that Gohan has is because his design is a lot more simple, Bandai has less to mess up. Like, Piccolo's paint job is a little bit shoddy in some of the yellow and red areas of the Namekian skin on his arms. But obviously, since Gohan's design is a lot more, well, maybe not a lot more basic, but, you know, kind of just more basic in terms of the paint application, he suffers a lot less from those Bandai issues. So I think he just looks pretty good, honestly. It'll be cool to see this guy next to the Beast version of this figure as well. Of course, we're also going to be getting a orange Piccolo version of this guy. And not to mention, both of these figures also have the Super Saiyan version and the Power Awakened version. I don't know if I'm going to be getting either of those just because I've seen that the quality seems to be kind of not too great on those. Maybe I'll just test my luck and see if I can get a decent one, because it would be kind of cool to have all of the transformations for this entire set. I do know as well later on this year we're also going to be getting a Goten and Trunks from this set, so that will be pretty cool to see those guys next to these two as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely keep your eye out for more superhero stuff as the year goes on, because your boy will most certainly be opening up basically any superhero figure that I can get my hands on, to be honest with you. I've seen the movie 5 times at this point, and I have a feeling by the end of this year it's probably going to be like 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I will catch you all in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.